Hello everyone. Hope everyone is fine. Welcome from CIO Klub. CIO Klub was founded in 2008 and it is the largest non-profit association of chief information officers and technology leaders in India. CIO Klub journey started with a few members in Mumbai and today over a decade we have grown to 1200 plus members across the nation. CIO Club's mission is to share and enhance knowledge on technical advancement and explore better business solutions for the IT community across the world. CIO Club's every objective is to contribute a professional growth of technology leaders and drive a business benefit of the organization. We have started a CIO Speaks series in which we invite a senior technology leaders. We discuss and understand various aspects of the technology from their businesses, their views on various aspects of the business technology transformation and how they use the technology for business transformation. And today is the first session of this CIO Speak. We are invited Mr. Vinod Bhat, who is the CIO of Vistara Airlines.
Welcome aboard Vistara.
Please fasten your seatbelts.
Ready for takeoff?
Welcome Vinodji. Vinod is a business leader with 29 plus years of the extensive experience in driving business transformation, leveraging digital technology across the 15 industries, managing relationship at the board and CXO level, P&L ownership for global business, driving business strategy and planning, sales, delivery, and operation with a deep understanding of the industry and the global team dynamics. He has worked in multiple geographies, USA, UK, Europe, APAC, and performing various roles. He has spent considerable time, 10 plus years in North America, and has worked closely with key IT and business leaders at the CXO level for more than 20 years. Welcome Vinodji to the CIO Club's first session of the CIO Speaks series. And I'm very thankful to you. You could take out a time from your busy schedule for us.
Thank you, Ashok Ji, for having me. It's always a pleasure to speak to you and through you, the audiences.
Yeah. Nice, sir. So, sir, we will start. Let me start the first question for you. Here, we wanted to know from your rich experience and technology expertise. Now, while working with a technology leader in various industry, you worked in the various geographies as well in North America, India, UK, Europe, right? And technology is changing very fast, which everyone is witnessing. According to what are the key business and technology trends in the aviation industry you have seen so far?
Thank you again, Ashok Ji, for having me. See, if you look at the whole aviation industry, it has gone through sea change, particularly last 2 years, where people are now more used to the online and less offline, in terms of services. So the technology from the disruption perspective, digital disruption perspective, has really, taken the lead in the aviation industry, and so have the customer aspects of it has changed. So from trends perspective, I think making sure that the customer experience is enhanced further through the technology. When I'm saying technology, I'm talking about the touchless technologies, where people don't have to really, in COVID, it is very important for us, like this e-boarding, whether it is the check-in before you actually go to the airport. And now we're talking about technologies like biometric, where the face will be the boarding pass. So imagine a person who is just registering once through the Digi Yatra program, and then the person can walk into the airport. The person doesn't have to show the ID everywhere, boarding pass everywhere, and he can seamlessly or she can seamlessly enjoy their travel, enjoy their experience I think that will, the first trend from customer point of view, it's very important. The other one trend which will be very important will be that moving from personalization to hyper personalization. So typically when you talk about personalization, you still have target segments where you want to send the communication, send the marketing campaigns. But what the trend we are seeing is that people want really a segment of one, where the offer, the communication, everything is actually targeted to one consumer, one customer. So that we feel that it's going to pick up very well. The other, from the technology point of view, which also is going to solve problem probably next 1 or 2 years more actively, is the whole augmented reality, the whole virtual reality, the extended reality, and people are talking about metaverse now. So there are a lot of use cases being talked about. So whether it is in the aviation, you have to train your people, you can do a lot of simulations, from the training perspective, but also from the engineering side. If people have to be trained on the live aircrafts, probably through metaverse, they can, or the virtual reality and the augmented reality, they can actually learn the techniques, or to some extent able to fix the issues also. I think that technology will also, as it matures, so it's going to be a lot more focus. Then the carbon neutral footprint, the airlines will be working on the technology which will help us to reduce the carbon footprint. That's going to stay. And also technology can give us very important lever from the business point of view, is that how can we improve the revenue part of it? How can we improve the customer part of it? I think technology will play a lot bigger role in tying those KPIs with the business success. For example, if we have to really start new routes and we're not sure about it, but we can do a lot of permutations, a lot of analysis, a lot of inferences, which will become some base for our business to take that decision. And when we want to move towards more proactive decision, not the reactive ones, and more predictive also. So those are the few of the trends from the business side, from the technology side, which you will see, which are some are happening as we speak, and some are going to be prevalent in next 1 to 2 years.
So Vinod, you talked about aviation industry and technology, how the technology helping into this, and you talked about the customer experience, personalization. Even you talked about how the engineering services will be useful in metaverse, and how this will happen in the training. But the technology, especially wherein the lot of work is being done by the ground force. I think the ground force is one of the key pillar of the success in the aviation industry. Right, operation ground force. So how the technology is helping them, and what are the trends are there where the ground force becomes the more effective? So where do you see, and what are the things you are doing over there?
Yeah, I think I will probably step back and mention that, see, a lot of technology changes or a lot of technology enablers from the business point of view are not visible always to the customer or the external world, but they play a significant role in making sure that the customer experience is not impacted. For example, all our engineering department, they have a very limited time between the landing and takeoff, right? If there is any maintenance to be done, it has to be done in that particular phase. So you need to give them better visibility of what is going on inside the aircraft. How can we communicate that upfront? By the time the plane lands, they can actually make those changes, fixes as recommended by their procedures, SOPs, and the plane is good to go. So while this is completely transparent to the ecosystem, but many times customers don't understand that, oh, there is someone who is actually fixing it, and if there is a 10-minute wait, 15-minute wait is going to pay. So in other words, the technology enablement for our engineering is actually contributing to the customer experience. Same thing if you look at the flight operations, when there is a disruption to the flights, how do you communicate to the passenger? How do you communicate to our internal stakeholders? How do you communicate to our crew, whether it is the cabin crew or the pilots, and also our partner ecosystem? I think there is where technology becomes very handy for them. And when you talk about disruption, it's not only the flight operations team, as you rightly said, the ground services. So if they have the information at the right time, in the right moment of time, and they can actually be much better equipped to answer the queries or handle the situation. And also, if you look at a lot of calls get diverted to the call center. Like call center people also need to be equipped with the right information about the flights, about the customer. For example, if there's a baggage issue, if there is any other complaint or any other question. So I think there is the technology really plays a role where you can identify the customer upfront, you can identify what could be the potential issue, and the conversation can be a lot more meaningful or easy when the customer is trying to reach them. So from the stakeholder point of view, whether it's the safety team, engineering team, flight operations team, ground services team, or the full commercial team, I think our job is to make sure that they are enabled with the right technology so that they can be a little bit ahead of the game, where they need to be, if they have to take a decision, they can take upfront, and there is the customer experience doesn't go for a toss.
Correct. So, Vinodji, when you talk about the ground force, especially, do you see any new coming technology like robotics, or someone will play a role wherein on airport or on the ground force we'll see there are a lot of manual work still going on? Side luggage part is still a manual process where a lot of man efforts are been involved. Do you see any technology trend towards going into this aviation industry?
Yeah, see, baggage reconciliation is a very good, I would say, use case for aviation. And there are multiple technologies, being explored, being implemented. One of them is RFID, one of them is blockchain, where look at a baggage which has to be transported over multiple hops. And if there is a RFID or the blockchain information that this baggage has not been tampered from, say, hop 1 to hop 2, and then the customer doesn't have to take a pain of picking up the bag and again checking it in. So I think there is where the technology can help. Also, before even the customer sees it, there are a lot of reconciliation happen. I think these kind of technologies actually can help to make sure that there is no pile up of the bags. And sometimes the screening of the bags, whether we need to check it out, watch it out. I think a lot of those technologies are also available, which work in tandem with our IT system, because keep in mind that there are some infrastructure which is provided by the airports, which is not part of the airline. Correct. And I would probably like to bring here IoT based technologies which are very, very prevalent in aviation airports. We're talking about smart airports. We're talking about where we can, particularly in this whole COVID situation, where we don't want people to queue up, and all that information actually can be captured through the IoT sensors, and that can be given to the stakeholders, and they can take the call, and that information can be shared with the airlines also. If there's a gate change, it can be done to the. So a lot of those technologies, particularly from the sensor-based technologies, will be very, very effective. It's already being operational, and you will see a lot more use of that as we speak.
Great. So, I mean, this is something ground force wherein the technology need to play bigger role, as you rightly said. They play a significant role, but for customer, their contribution never comes on the picture. Actually, they are working very hard behind the curtain, and their technology and you and your team is working. This is very interesting, especially the use case like it is automic. Yes, blockchain can be used in the baggage, wherein the multiple hops are there, and nowadays everybody is aware about. Worried about their security of luggage, security of baggage, and then proliferation can be also tracked through this one. This is really great to listen from you. So coming to the next point, as you know that as technology is changing, right? A lot of data is getting generated, multiple sensors. We are talking about a blockchain. We are talking about the entire entity in the total business ecosystem to be touched by the technology, which will ultimately create two challenges. One is cyber security, and when it is going to be a huge infrastructure, huge data getting generated, cyber security challenge will come into the picture. And I believe it is a worry for everybody, including board, including technology leader, including you also. You must be thinking about that, how we make it more secure. So what are the challenges you see into this one when the technology is changing so fast, people are adopting the technology so fast, and how you are addressing the challenges?
Yes, Ashokji, I think if I had to really put an analogy, we're trying to catch or we're traveling in a digital train which is not stopping, and you need to make all all those amendments as you are on this journey of digital transformation. So I think I will probably add one more technology to the mix to make this discussion a little bit more interesting, is the 5G. And see, what has happened is that while IoT can generate a lot of data, but who is going to process it? And at what, do we have the right bandwidth available? I think that's where the 5G is being piloted, and that will probably solve to a greater extent in terms of the data bandwidth. But more importantly is that we may see a trend that there's a decentralization of cloud happening, because today everything is going to cloud, but it's because cloud has storage, kind of unlimited storage. There's a huge power on compute. But what if you can give that power to the edge? And there is where you will see a lot more edge clouds coming up. And why I'm bringing it up, because in the aviation, you will see a lot of that processing. You want to do it at the airports. You don't want that processing to be done at cloud, which is probably sitting in Singapore or Germany. And there is a latency. So you will see an interesting thing, which is from the technology point of view, which is going to happen, which we believe that it is going to be a game changer in aviation once it is approved by DGCA, once it is approved by the regulatory authorities. But we believe that it is going to be a very good, I would say, improvement in the whole technology area. Having said this, while we are now laying, if you look at the whole landscape now, on one hand, we have got multiple channels like web, mobile. We're talking about now edge. We're talking about the edge devices also, endpoints also. So there is lot of apprehension on the security side, because what is happening is so far that we have got one lens is making sure that our infra is in secure. Second is also the whole cyber security, also the whole data security and info security. Are they also in place? And if you look at from the enterprise perspective, they have also been through journeys. So the infrastructure is in place, these policies and tools are in place, but they are not truly integrated from the zero trust perspective, where you really want to make sure that the roles are being checked, the access are being checked in the network itself, not only at the application level. So I think that whole, we're talking about the secure access service edge kind of concept, where you want to bring the whole network as well as infra as well as security. So I think that there is where you will see that while you are exposing lot of vulnerabilities because of these new technology interventions, but you will see that there are other frameworks being developed in the industry, as I said, that zero trust or even SASE framework, which will try to put these pieces together. People are moving from ADR to XDR.
I'm coming to this last question of my conversation with you, which is beyond technology. You worked as a business leader, you worked as a technology leader with so much of the experience in your field. You own the P&L as well. What are your, in brief, I ask you, what are your advice to the new CIO, new technology leader, the young generations coming to this one? What do you suggest them?
See, if I have to pick few things, which is first of all, look at technology from the business lens. I think that will be probably the one big item on the list, that how can a technology make a difference to the business? I think this is the question which every CX, CTO, CIO should ask themselves, that if it is not making a difference, then you need to think. And second related point with that is that it's not about whether a technology can only make a difference, at what cost. Are you going to make an elephant dance, or you don't need an elephant? So I think those are some of the key decisions on this point our leaders have to do. Second is, once we have that in place, we need to have a proper digital strategy. I think very important that digital transformation strategy has to be at the enterprise, which should have a visibility to the board level. And it needs a lot of deliberation, lot of concurrence from the stakeholders, particularly from the business side, where you can actually agree on what are my priorities, which are my key programs, and which will have high ROI. And there is a lot of stakeholder management which is needed. The best way to do that is that deliver in these benefits in in an incremental approach, phased approach, so that you can get confidence. Don't create a plan for 18 months, 12 months or more. So people will have less confidence, and people will be going back to the old ways of doing it. I think we are also the change agents, technology change agents. I think we need to do a good job in articulating the benefits which the technology can bring, but again, from the business point of view. Then also, we have to also look at the digital talent. I think not many people are talking about it. That as an organization, when I say digital talent, it's also both on the IT side as well as the business side. See, on business side, it's more about organization change management, or about how digital can actually deliver value and working with them. But from the IT side, the responsibility is a little bit more, where IT teams have to be aware about what is going on in the industry. As you rightly said, that there are so many disruptions happening at a very, very fast pace.
Great, Vinod. I mean, this is the something you picked up the very good point that we should also evaluate every organization about a digital talent, and this digital talent is not only at the IT side but at the business side also. This is a very, very, very relevant point, and you touched upon another relevant point. I think very important point you put up, that you need to cut the noise of the technology. So many technology coming to picture, and many times many people get confused. They feel that everybody should be implemented. It cannot happen. What is relevant for you is very important. Thank you, Vinodji, and thanks for sparing a time with us. I am really thankful to you on behalf of CIO Club. It was really nice talking to you, and I look forward to engage with you more and more on this one.
Thank you, Ashok Ji. It's a privilege speaking to you, and I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.